Now, as your client moves through the purchase process, what Marketly is designed to do is to make all of the hassle of organizing pest and building inspections and getting conveyances and getting moving quotes and utilities as simple and as easy as possible. I know once you're in brokering for a little while, you don't see it as much, but how difficult and stressful and confusing the purchase process can be when you've got, as a first home buyer or even an upgrader, you've got someone who hasn't ever been through the process before, or maybe has only been through the process once or twice. They've got to engage all these different professionals. They've got all these deadlines coming at them, emails with a lot of information that they're having to try and absorb. And what I wanted to do with Marketly is make it as simple as possible for those clients, those buyers, to navigate their way through the purchase, which is why, Marketly, I've sort of framed it as the shared workspace for a property transaction. So whether they're looking for buyer's agency services, due diligence reports on properties they're about to purchase, getting all those additional services done, we are able to do that all through the app. Now, as at today, we do not have that many pest and building inspectors, conveyancers, movers. I don't even think I've started building the moving quote process in yet, but over 2026 and the remainder of 2026 and going into 2027, if you've got someone in your area, like a pest and building inspector or a conveyancer that you think would be a really good fit for the app, please just direct them to marketly.app, and then they just need to go get started up in the top right-hand corner, click on their profession, and then they'll be told what to do from there. What we're wanting to do is, if you've got someone that you work with that you think would be really good and you'd like to recommend them, then you can actually put them into the app. For all these ancillary services, we don't actually charge anything to them. There's no monthly subscription cost. What we do take, though, is, depending on the type of service, we'll typically look at taking just a cut off the top, especially if people are paying in the app. So the most obvious one is a pest and building inspection, which I'm about to show you. For a pest and building inspector wanting to come on board, at the moment, I think we're taking somewhere between 10 and 15%. The user will basically pay in the app, and what we're asking for there is that for that pest and building inspector to be willing to reduce their price by, it doesn't have to be the whole 10 or 15%, but maybe by some way in the middle, because what we're providing to them is business, not only from you, but from other brokers in the area potentially as well, just business dropped into their lap, paid up, ready to go business. There's no marketing, there's no anything. All they need to do is just go and execute on the service order that they've received. So that's what they're asking for. Yeah, they can put their prices up 15%, I guess, if they want to, but then they're in danger of just being undercut or underquote by potentially other services on the platform. So each type of provider is going to have a different set of rules and requirements and ways of being presented and ways of actually being paid, either through the app or separately. All they need to do is just follow the link and find their profession, and then it'll tell them what to do, what's available, how to book a chat, how to get onto the platform, etc. What I'm wanting to do, though, is just take you through a couple of those options. So if you've been following along with the last few videos, you would have seen that we have gone through someone, they've looked at this particular property. I think it was 14 Hapgood. What I didn't actually show, which I should have, is that they've now actually made an offer on that property. So there's a couple of ways that they can do that. For this client, they've actually come in here and they've made an offer on the actual property details page. They can accept that offer, reject that offer, withdraw it, whatever they need to do. This obviously doesn't necessarily email anything to the agent or signify anything on the agent's side. It's just something that they can do to keep themselves aware of what's happening inside the app, and for you guys as brokers as well. And as they go through that, they're going to be told, once again, what they need to do. So let's say we've got to the point of, why don't we actually go into this and we'll go back into the property. I should also show, you might remember in the first video, the important milestone details used to show the pre-approval amounts and what they were able to purchase up to. Now it's actually changed to show that they've got an active offer available. So they can tap on that. Let's say that offer is accepted. We're going to go confirm acceptance for today's date. We should get a congratulations. If we don't, there we go, congratulations. Purchased East Freo, a property worth a couple of mil for 800 grand. Congratulations. They're just fun stuff that I like to add in. What we should find, okay, so we need to add some to-dos. I'll get that done. But what we're wanting to do is, let's say we've got the offer accepted. Now we need to start to get a conveyancer organized. Now we need to start to get a pest and building inspection organized. And if you're in different states, this is going to be all organized at different times. But let's say at this point you're in WA, it's now time to get a pest and building inspection done. we want to get an inspection quote. So we're going to tap on, this is on the home page, we're going to tap on get inspection quotes. Now, as we've gone through the process, the app has actually picked up a lot of information that we already need. So the old process that your clients would have had to follow, which is to go to a website to submit an instant quote or an instant form, maybe they've gone to inspect my place, or they're not available so much in WA, so I can't remember the name of it, but Protect My Beard or something. There's a pest and building inspection sort of software company over East that'll farm these inspections out. They don't even need to do that anymore. They can just do it directly from the app where they're already communicating with you. They're already communicating with maybe a buyer's agent, and maybe a conveyancer as well. The app is going to pick up the information. There's nothing they need to do, or very little. Full name is already in there. We're going to choose the property that they are purchasing, so 14 Habgood. We do need to answer a few bits and pieces that the app doesn't know. Is this a a double story or single story? Is it occupied or vacant or unsure? Who the agent is, so we've picked up that information already. We might just need to add in the email address there for the agent. If we had a settlement agent, then that would be showing up in here. Mortgage broker, obviously that's professional me, so that's a yes. Is there an inspection deadline? The client can just tick unsure to this, or don't know if they don't know. Contract conditions, whatever it is, finance been approved. Let's put yes for this property, and we're going to go next. Now what that's going to do is pull up a bunch of, just a summary, and then all they need to do is click get inspectors. Now if there's no inspectors that are in that area, then they're not going to come back with anything. So again, if you do know someone that operates in your area that you think are really good, that would be interested in getting more business, please get them to go to the website and book in. I think it's going to be a chat with me at this point. What it's going to do though, is it's going to then just pull up a bunch of all the options that are available and the prices for that particular area, depending on bedrooms and land size and whatever the pest and building inspectors want to quote on. They're able to put that all in this app. So I'm not going to show you the process from here, but it is, in fact, maybe I can. So all they need to do is just select the pest inspector that they are interested in. And what that's going to do is send a quote off to the pest and building inspector, just basically to make sure that the pest and building inspector can actually do that job. They do have the time available for it. Once they have responded with an affirmative, then the client will be able to pay in-app, and that's what I'm about to show you. Okay, so once the job has been confirmed by the inspector, what they're able to do is they'll just get a notification on the app saying, yep, the inspector's ready to go, they've accepted the job. All your client needs to do after getting a notification on the phone is click accept and pay. And they're going to get a nice little payment sheet, and literally $650. They can put their card in, or if they've got Apple Pay or Google Pay, literally just tap it and pay. It is that easy. There's no more forms. There's no more going out to search and get quotes. It's all just there. They just bang it in and off they go. Super, super simple. All right, what else can I show you? The other one I'll show you is getting a conveyancer. So if you've got a conveyancer that you really would like to refer to or have them as like a preferred provider for you, absolutely no problems at all. We may look at charging conveyancers on a subscription fee on the app. I don't really quite know how to handle that situation yet. We'll see. I've got one or two on in WA, and I've given them sort of sweetheart deals. But let's see, if they are at the point where they need to add a conveyancer, all they need to do is tap let your conveyancer know. Now, if they don't have a conveyancer, what they're going to be prompted to do is to add a conveyancer or ask a conveyancer or get some quotes from a couple of conveyancers that are servicing their local area. To show you what that looks like, they're going to be able to view our directory, and then it's going to show them the prices that are available to them for that type of property and for that price range, because typically conveyancers will price according to price range. For them to be able to actually reach out to them once they've selected who they want, it's just as simple as tapping on their preferred provider and, again, just sending off a quote, which is just done typically via email, but just sending off a quote to that conveyancer, and then the conveyancer will go back to them, and then they'll be able to start that service. Other services that we have built in, once they get to the settlement and approval spaces, we are looking at adding in, I'm pretty sure I've actually already added it. Let's have a look. No, not quite yet. We do have added the capacity for utilities. So again, the app has picked up everything they need to know. Hopefully they would have been through these next steps as well. So added the settlement date, added the moving date. The app knows all that, so that when they submit their quote or their request for utilities, it's going to go off to our utilities provider, and they're going to get all the information that they need to call the client and say, cool, just confirming this and this, and then they can kick off that process. One process I do want to add in is moving quotes. That's probably, I think, a 2027 job, not for this year, but we will be adding in the ability for movers to start providing quotes based on everything that the app has picked up as well. And a big one is buying agency services. Either, I haven't quite figured out this one yet either, but either marketly certified or marketly approved buyer's agents, potentially any buyer's agent, or potentially even just marketly buyer's agents. That's a big piece that I need to figure out. But allowing your client to order due diligence reports, allowing your client to find someone to negotiate on their behalf, all sorts of different things. But I'll put all that in a separate video once we've sort of got a bit further down the road there.